Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric, and today we're going to talk about an Xbox game called Wasteland 3. Now, this also came out on PlayStation 4. So, Wasteland 3 is a tactical RPG, I guess, a tactical strategy RPG. I haven't played any of the other Wastelands, so I'm kind of out of the loop in regards to what the plot of this game might be, but I thought it looked cool. It was on Game Pass, so I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to try it out and see what I think about it. So that's what we're going to do today. So it's a squad-based role-playing game featuring turn-based combat, basically, is what the thing I'm looking at says. So it's done in a grid-based thing, kind of like, I would say, XCOM or Mario Rabbids, where you have like an isometric view. You can see the field of play, and the enemies get to make their moves, and then you do your moves, and you have a certain amount of AP, which I guess is action points, and you have to make choices. So basically, you can choose to take cover behind a wall or a crate, or you can choose to attack or heal your character. So along the way between battles, you'll find like yourself exploring different areas of the map. I think the world is Colorado, takes place in Colorado, which is an interesting type of vibe. It also has like a post-apocalyptic type of environment. I do like that. I do think the characters, the cutscenes that you do see with the characters and stuff, have a cool little vibe. You'll see like different types of like dystopian type of like cities and buildings and things like that. I don't know. I think it has a good little vibe, so that's actually why I wanted to check it out. So the gameplay. As far as combat goes, you'll have a choice to shoot an enemy depending how well he's covered, or how much cover he has, or how accurate your shot is, because each weapon has a certain amount of accuracy to it, and other stats like how much damage they could do and stuff. So you'll want to kind of grind your characters, upgrade their abilities, maybe find new weapons. You'll scavenge a lot. You can also get new armor and build armor, lockpick stuff. So there's a lot of skills here. There's actually quite a bit of RPG elements in this, actually, which is pretty cool, because you'll come across crates that require you to have a certain level of lockpick, or you'll find like a something that you have to disarm, like maybe a gun turret or some kind of like landmine. And if you don't have that required skill set, you'll be kind of like out of luck. So you have to take a lot of heed and think and take your time when you get skill points or attributes for your party, and build them to certain ways based on the skill tree. And I kind of like that. It reminded me a lot like I played Mario Rabbids. I know this is totally different type of atmosphere and type of tone, but for the most part, it was very similar in that regard to how the game played on the grid as far as combat goes, and upgrading the characters and stuff, which is what turned me on the most from this. I was like, hey, you know what? This looks like something that they were hyping up in the Game Pass store, because I think I preloaded this a couple weeks ago and finally got around to playing it. Came out not too long ago. It's also on PlayStation 4, but I haven't heard many people talk about it. And me, that piques my curiosity. I'm like, okay, how come nobody I know has come out and talked about this game? How come nobody's really thought about it? And I ended up actually getting addicted to this. The story's neat. I like the narration when you talk to the villagers, or when you run into other people, like other allies and stuff, and you have like decisions that you can make based on like a dialogue tree, where sometimes you can end up using some kind of skill that you have to intimidate them, like a badass skill or a kiss-ass skill, or maybe you could sway the direction of a different way so that the outcome changes. I like stuff like that, where dialogue trees and decisions actually shape the story and the progression of what the game has and stuff. So there was quite a bit of that, actually. So going back, if I ever played this a second time, I'm going to focus on certain skills and certain traits that my characters can have, to see how the game feels a little bit differently. I liked that there were so many different options and stuff that you could do in the game. Basically, it was really impressive with how much RPG elements actually are in this, even though it's not like a traditional RPG game per se. It would be more like a tactical strategy game, but it was pretty impressive, especially with the combat, and definitely challenging also. There was times where I had to repeat one of the actual battles like several times. I was like, oh my gosh, am I ever gonna defeat these guys? But you can use the environment to your advantage. Sometimes you'll find like gas tanks that you can shoot, and they'll send like a big explosion, and you can actually use cover, and sometimes you can even ahead of time destroy the cover, so maybe that the enemies won't be able to hide behind it. You can even avoid the combat altogether if you're sneaky enough and you have the sneaky skill up there. You can avoid going around the perimeter of it, but once you get locked into that grid, you're locked into the battle. There's no escaping, and it could be quite challenging. But then once you find like the armor and stuff like that, it's actually a lot of fun, and I'm glad I explored that. And that's one thing that I really like about, I'm gonna get on a little bit of a Game Pass tangent right here. That's one thing that I really like about Game Pass, is that it allows you to play a lot of games that, you know, I normally wouldn't be like, oh, let me pick this game up in the store. But when I'm browsing on Game Pass and I see a brand new game comes out and I'm able to try it out with no risk, you know, like not losing my money, I'm like, all right, hey, you know, Wasteland 3, let's try it out. So these are like games that I'm getting the opportunity to play and try. And I gotta say, my first impression of Wasteland 3 was wonderful. I actually had a lot of fun playing this. I know nothing about this series again. This is somebody coming in fresh, knowing nothing about the Wasteland series. Apparently there's 3 of them. But I did dig it. I had a lot of fun figuring out the combat, the play, the strategy. Maybe I'll consider playing a little bit more games that are like this, because this one was actually well put together and very fun. And again, it was on Game Pass, so I had no risk at losing my money for it. So if you do have Xbox, I do say it is worth a look. And I believe there is co-op as well, but I have not tried it out. I didn't get to try the multiplayer. I don't know if it's online as well, or if it's just local. I haven't gotten to try it, but there is multiplayer as well. Anyways, guys, if you've played this, or you have any kind of other recommendations with the same type of genre of game, let me know in the comments down below. Or if this is something that you're totally not interested in and you're like, pass on this. And don't forget to leave a like or a dislike. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks a lot, guys, for hearing me ramble about games. I appreciate it. Consider supporting 8-Bit Eric on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link below in the description. You want to become part of the hashtag 8BE Nation, guys? Well, be sure to pick up your official merch, now available online. Link is below in the description. We got classic t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, and even women's apparel. Don't forget, pick up your official merch now. And while you're at it, guys, feel free to watch the next video, or why don't you catch up on one that you might have previously missed. Thanks again, guys, for all the support. I couldn't do this without you. You guys are amazing, and don't forget to subscribe and click that like button if you are brand new. Thanks again, guys. Peace out.